Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Choose Only One Work by Composer X, it would have to be Work E. Well, Composer X is Kurt Weill, and Work E is the 7 deadly sins of small-time citizens, technically. This is probably Weill's most perfect work, his most finished work. He's most famous, of course, for the Threepenny Opera, and his largest and most ambitious theatrical piece, or the one that gets performed anyway, is The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahogany. Weill is an interesting character, an incredibly talented composer. His style was totally personal, but also so of its era. Nobody encapsulates both the sort of experimental questing nature as well as the ideological and philosophical aesthetic of the Weimar Republic better than Kurt Weill did. There's a fin de siècle, end of an era, apocalyptic decadence to his music, to his style, which is really pretty special. A bittersweet lyricism, a nostalgia, a tenderness, but also a hard edge. It's really extraordinary stuff. It really is. And of course, whatever we choose has to be one of the works he wrote with Bertolt Brecht, because they were like Gilbert and Sullivan. I mean, they were a pair. They were so perfectly suited to one another. Now, Brecht was, of course, a card-carrying communist, a hardcore leftist, and Weill was much less ideologically focused than Brecht was. And that was a good thing, because his music is not, you wouldn't call it sort of left-wing music in that sense. It's not socialist realist music. It's just really, really good music in Weill's characteristic style. Bertolt Brecht actually always kind of fascinated me because, his grandson Sebastian is a pastry chef in Greenwich Village. And I always thought that somehow that was, the cosmic karma working out for Brecht. It was always so ideologically rigid. And I think it's just splendid that his family went into the baking business, a much less ideologically rigid line of work. So anyway, the 7 deadly sins. What is the 7 deadly sins? The 7 deadly sins is a ballet. It's a choral ballet, a ballet with songs. It's about 2 daughters, Anna 1 and Anna 2. Anna 1 sings and Anna 2 dances. And they are sent away by their family to raise enough money so they could build a beautiful little house on the Mississippi in Louisiana. And that's how it starts. And it's wonderful. It could be sung by a singer who has, like me, a totally wrecked voice. Meine Schwester und ich stammen aus Louisiana, wo die Wasser des Mississippi unter Monde fließen. It doesn't matter. It's wonderful. Or you could have a singer who could really sing. It works either way. And it alternates songs and dances as Anna 1 and Anna 2 go from city to city in evil capitalist America, encountering examples of the 7 deadly sins as they try and earn their fortune and ship it back to their family. Now, the family is a mother and a father and 2 brothers. And the mother is a bass, which are all men. Vocally, the mother is the bass. It's absolutely fabulous. And so there are choruses in which the family expresses their anxiety over Anna's, or both Anna's, backsliding, or their inability to raise enough money by doing all kinds of nefarious things on their voyages from city to city to city. So the music is just delicious. It's witty. It's as witty as Mozart. It really is. It has that kind of finish and elegance, and the text is wonderfully funny. But also, of course, it has its ideology, but it's not ideologically irritating. It doesn't beat you over the head with its anti-capitalist rhetoric. It's actually just a good story for the most part. I saw the New York City Opera did an absolutely marvelous production of the 7 Deadly Sins as part of a double bill. And the other half of the double bill was Carmina Burana in its original ballet form. And the two works were wonderful together because one is, of course, as they are both in their way kind of populist pieces, but one is, left-wing Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill, and the other was, a product of, sort of fascism, let's say. So the contrast between the two was very, very telling. It created a wonderful tension, and it made for a great evening of theater. And so my choice has to be The Seven Deadly Sins by Kurt Weill, just an amazing piece. And if you don't know it, you really should give it a listen. You could listen to the one on Berlin Classics with Gisela May, who is absolutely fabulous. Anya Celia has done it recently for Hensler. It's just one of those pieces that you should really, really know. It's an iconic work. And when we give it to the evil god Cankresans as the iconic, typical, characteristic Kurt Weill masterpiece, we could say to him, there are other fabulous masterpieces by Kurt Weill, including his most popular, the Three-Penny Opera, which has a suite, the Kleine Dreigroschen Musik, all of which deserve to survive. I mean, Happy End, Silbersee, not to mention his orchestral works, the Second Symphony particularly, the Violin Concerto, the Berlin Requiem, great, great pieces, all of which we really, really need to explore in greater depth. I mean, the critical edition of Kurt Weill works is just getting on its way. It only has a few volumes available. I mean, how could that be ended? It could be less expensive, okay, but it could be, but we have to keep it going so that we can begin to appreciate the genius of Kurt Weill in all of its multifarious variety, including his later works for Broadway when he came to America. So that's what we need. And in order to do that, we really have to know the Seven Deadly Sins. It's a great place to start. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.